area has no streetlights, so I was scared to run fast when I could barely see. Run fast when I could barely see. And it's white text, so it's not Rena's perspective. But Keiichi, if it's Keiichi's perspective, how can it be that he's not with his bike? Or maybe he ditched his bike because it was noisy. It's like, It's like in the previous scene with Rika. It's like, I thought it was gonna be Keiichi. I'd remembered wrong. It was freaking Rika. It's just like, if you really think about it, that's not the first time something like that has happened, is it? Like, heck, remember freaking Higurashi, for example. Just like, you remember that? You know what I'm referring to, right? It's like with Rika and Higurashi and Watanagashi, and you know how that ended up. But it's more Higurashi than anything, but they're the same arc, but just from a different perspective. So it was technically Watanagashi as well, but we didn't see it from that perspective on that one. But in Higurashi, we saw a similar thing play out. It's not the first time we've seen something like that. How interesting, eh? The moon lit up the sky, but not my steps. The only light I had to see by was my flashlight. The light was very weak. All I could see was the flat gravel road before me. This is garbage, Keiichi, then. Anything the flashlight couldn't reach was in total darkness. The expression of the news and novels, pitch black, wouldn't be inappropriate. I might trip over an empty can or a rock any time. Not wanting to fall, I used the flashlight to its maximum extent to watch my step. But I was still a bit nervous. I started running slower and slower until I was just walking briskly. Did I just stop running because I'm afraid of tripping in the dark? But I usually run around without anything, watching my step during the day. I run around with Rena and Mion all the time. Yep, it's definitely Keiichi's perspective. Even if I can see what's underfoot, I don't pay any attention. I don't think I might trip, I just keep running around without a care. Rena might be feeling the same way I am right now. For Rena, the light with which he illuminates the darkness of suspicion is too weak. And the darkness of the delusion she deeply believes in is getting darker and darker. That's why she's scared to even walk on the same roads she always used to take. She fell for the contents of those ridiculous scrapbooks. People might laugh at her for that. Those scrapbooks aren't normal. Well, they are normal, it's the contents of them that isn't. They manipulate their readers' hearts and with evil intent take advantage of their vulnerabilities. Just like you are looking in a kind of conspiracy way yourself, Keiichi. Just like, no, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, he's like looking at it, he's like, oh, those scrapbooks are cursed. No, it's the information in them that kind of like drove her over the edge a bit. Well, a bit is an understatement, but you know, it started off as a bit, and then it just escalated with her paranoia increasing and constant misunderstandings till it got way out of hand. We will intend to take advantage of the vulnerabilities. That evil intent captured my heart for one night. That's why I know how evil they are. They're just urban legends like the prophecies of Nostradamus saw the purple mirror. They're a bunch of feasible lies, and when you hear about them at first, you think they're too stupid to believe. Those pesky creepypastas. But once you fall for them, it's hard to get them out of your mind for some reason. It'll be the year 1999 in less than 20 years. That's kind of funny in a way, isn't it? Right. Yeah, the year 1999 almost be 20 years ago now. Less than 20 years from the point of the plot here is, oh, actually less than, yeah, it's like just under 20 years ago was the year 1999. From the perspective of this plot, that was nearly 20 years away. Less than 20 years. Just like, how about that? Come full circle. Everybody knows about the prophecy that the world will come to an end in July of 1999. There are even some TV shows about it too, which irresponsibly fan people's fears, so some people take it seriously. Well, considering it's the year 2018, that didn't pan out, did it? There's people who think that the prophecy means the outbreak of nuclear war, so some of them are making shelters in their backyards. Some of them are thinking about freezing themselves by 1999 so that they won't be exposed to radiation, only waking up after it's gone. You know, with that, I thought it was more to do with technology or something like that. I can't remember. It was like there was like a legitimate kind of fear thing where it was like, because like computers could only read up to a certain date or something like that, and if they didn't get it fixed and all that updated, it could have been absolutely disastrous for technology and shit. I don't know the full details, but that was actually something, wasn't it? But yeah, it's like, you know what they always do? They just like, oh, it's just like, oh, conspiracy, this event will happen specifically on this. It's like, that's just a guess. I mean, that's essentially what all of these are, really, isn't it? Just a guess. Those people are completely serious about it. But when you think about it rationally, it's impossible that there'll be an outbreak of nuclear war in 1999. It's true that the Cold War makes us think that the final war will break out any time, but both powers are actually pointing their nuclear missiles at each other, and they know there's nothing to gain for either of them to start a nuclear war. That's the weird thing about nuclear weapons, really, isn't it? It's like it just brings everything to a stalemate. That's the only real good thing they're good for, really, isn't it? It's just like if not for that, if like just one country had them, it'd just be fucking chaos. It'd be like, just like, we rule over the world because we have the superior weapons. But because like a lot of countries have them, it's like, no, you do that and we'll do it back, and then we'll all be like fucked, essentially. Just like complete madness, isn't it? Just like throughout human history, all kinds of wars. Like, think prehistoric man, just had their spears and their stones and rocks and all that, and all their primitive tools and shit and weapons. Then you just like get further and further until you get to the point where it's like, oh, these weapons are so powerful that if we were to actually use them, we'd all be fucked, really. Just like, what happened to the good old-fashioned swords? The Soviets might still do it. The Soviets would destroy the world if it meant eradicating liberalism. But that delusions that the Soviets might do it could be neatly swapped for the way Takno-san uses the Sonosaki family in her scrapbooks. When people create a large-scale delusion like the prophecies above, they always use an incomprehensible unknown enemies, such as the Soviet Union, Nazi Germany, or aliens. Well, two of those things technically doesn't exist anymore. Well, one of those things, yeah, two of those things actually technically doesn't exist anymore. Just like, oh yeah, is aliens one of them? It's like, no, we don't even know if aliens are out there or not, but they probably are somewhere. God knows. Just like, I mean, think of all the, like, how big the universe is. There's bound to be something out there, even if it's something as simple as a freaking amoeba, for crying out loud. Where are you now? And they say something like, you never know, they might do things like that to try and increase the credibility of their illusion without any evidence whatsoever. What did Takno-san know about the Sonosaki family? Nothing. All she did was use the history of Onagafuchi and say that the Sonosaki family is still working behind the scenes, plotting a horrifying conspiracy. It's just like one of those large-scale prophecies. It's nothing but just a stupid story like that one about Nazi Germany, which says that Hitler is still alive and lives in an underground complex somewhere on the South Pole, continuing his plot to conquer the world! Well, that one is certainly absurd. I mean, the idea that Hitler potentially, you know, had, like, fled Nazi Germany, that seems a bit more plausible than he fled to the frickin' South Pole and continued his plot for world domination. Either way, he'd probably be dead by now. Rena usually doesn't believe in stupid stories like that. But It was just bad timing, I suppose. It was right after she killed Rina and Teppei Hojo, and was caught by us. She was in a state of panic when she heard the story. We were waiting for her to recover from the shock. But before she did and regained her strength of heart, a poison got into her and spread all throughout her body. When you're sick and have a weakened immune system, it's easy to get an old disease. It's just like that. That's it. Rena is just sick right now. When you're very sick in bed with a high fever, you sometimes feel like you might die from it. That's a weird thing, isn't it? It's just like when you get a flu, for example, you're just lying in bed, it's like, you literally barely can freaking move because you're in so much pain. You cut and barely eat again because you're in so much pain. You can barely drink because you're in so much pain. It's like, it's just like you feel like you're freaking dying legitimately. It's a horrible feeling. But most of the time, you're just overreacting. You get better soon after you take a medicine. Take a medicine. Eat healthy food and sleep a lot. You take a medicine. You take a medicine. You take a medicine. Shouldn't it just be you take medicine, not a medicine? What is a medicine? Just like, well, it could be dissolvable, it could be tablet form, or it could be liquid form, or it could even be, you know, a syringe form, but that's liquid form, really, technically, isn't it? But, you know, you get the idea. That's how she is right now. She's caught a mental cold, that's all. She needs to get better soon, or she might get caught by the police. What the hell does it even mean by that? She caught a mental cold, that's all. It's like, I don't know. Just like, I don't really know. Just like, I can't, I'm thinking the words I'm trying to think here. Is it just his way of being like, oh, she's suffering a bit of a breakdown, but she's not mentally ill or anything? No, just temporarily delusional. She'll get over it. I passed several patrol cars on my way. I hid every time I saw one, since I didn't want to be questioned. I was probably passed by them twice. When I came close to Rena's house, he wouldn't call her by full name. I saw a car parked near the gate. It was obviously watching her house, trying to capture her when she'd arrive home. Mion ordered the Sonzaki family to find Rena to protect her from the police, but honestly, I'm not sure if they can. After all, Rena believes that the Sonzaki family's after her. Yeah, that would be a bad thing, really, isn't it? I mean, I get at your good intentions, Mion, but since she's like got this vast conspiracy, it doesn't matter. It's like even with Oishi sending out the police to look for Rena, it's no good. She's gone off the deep end, and anyone that will approach her and be like, hey, we've been ordered to take you to this place or wherever, she'll just interpret it completely differently. But if they don't find her, the police will eventually. If that happens, all of us who helped her bury the corpses will be caught by the police in the end. I don't know him or why the police came to suspect her. How or why, I mean. I think they only have some circumstantial evidence. I don't think they know she did it for sure. Oh, can you imagine if this were to happen, just like, it finally, like, comes to a head where it's just like, Keiichi's just like, babbles on about the bodies and all that. It's like, Rena didn't do it! It's like, Rena didn't do what? It's like, oh, you weren't looking for her for that. It's like, what were you gonna say, Keiichi, there? Forget the bit where I said about the bodies and all that. Just make it so that he implies there's something else that Rena did. You're like, okay, Keiichi, what did Rena do? It's like, shit, me and my big mouth. I think they have circumstantial did it for sure. I don't think they know she did it for sure. But since they're looking everywhere for her now, I need to readjust my sitting posture because my legs hurt. They're looking everywhere for her now, and they must have some kind of reliable evidence. It's not like it's a potential misunderstanding on your part. Rena, come on! You don't have time to play around with darkness and scrapbooks right now. The police are after you. It was so dark that I couldn't be sure if she was down there. When I made up my mind and headed down the slope, carefully shining my flashlight to light my way. I wanted to loudly call out Rena's name, but there might be some policemen nearby looking for her. I walked around the trash pile and then I saw lights. It was Rena. I ran towards her hideout, kicking aside the trash in my way. Oh, she's got the creepy eyes. Wait, she's still there? I thought she'd have left by now because she was like, you know, trying to like get the hell out of there and go to another location because she's, you know, completely lost it. I mean, she lost it ages ago, but she somehow continues to lose it even more. It's like, how can you lose something you no longer have? Rena was standing right in front of her hideout, holding a hatchet. I couldn't blame her. She must have noticed all the noise I had made coming down the slope. Well, not just that, she's had two encounters. Like, the misinterpretation of what the police officers were there looking for, what reason they were, and Rika shows up with a freaking syringe and says a bunch of cryptic stuff that just like confuses her and makes her feel like she confirms her conspiracy, and she's just like, oh my god! She goes even more off the deep end, more paranoid, and it's like, I've got to be prepared. Hatchet wielding Rena to the, well, not to the rescue, to the, to action, whatever. Rena, it's me.
Keiichi-kun. I sure have a lot of visitors tonight.
Yeah, she certainly does. Who else is here? I shone my flashlight around, but I didn't see anybody else.
I'm leaving because it's not safe here anymore. I don't want you to know where I'm going, so please don't follow me.
Rena? What happened to your neck? You're bleeding!
I'm okay. It might come back again, though.
Rena's neck was all red. It looked like she had some kind of skin disease on her neck. She probably couldn't bear the itchiness and scratched at it really hard. The way her facial expression changed there, it was like from creepy, kind of looking at you in a kind of you're nothing to ah, look at that face. It's like what a switch in expression that is. You need to do more than just wipe it with a towel. Come into my house. I need to clean it up. Oh, now back to creepy face.
Don't worry about it. It isn't an injury. It's too late anyway.
Too late? What do you mean?
They must have put the other drug in my food without me realizing. It's the drug that killed Tom Take-san. They probably used a syringe to inject him with the drug, but they changed their methods this time. I think they put it in someone's lunch. You remember Mion gave out a piece of her omelette to everyone the other day at lunch, don't you? She must have put it in the omelette. She's smart. She used a slow-acting drug this time. Damn it!
Rena kicked the dirt with hatred. She was almost literally kicking Mion's goodwill to the curb. Hey, Rena, are you seriously saying that Mion would do such a thing? Rena looked stunned and she stared straight at me. I noticed a slight accusation in her eyes. I can tell by looking into her eyes that she wants to say. What are you talking about? Bitch, I already told you that the Thornsack family is the mastermind behind the conspiracy. But not in that voice. First of all, Mion didn't give out her omelette. No, that's probably Rena.
First of all, Mion didn't give out her omelette to everybody that day.
Mion cut her omelette into 5 pieces, and she told us to take one if we wanted. Rena took the end piece of the omelette before anybody took one. She said it looked cute and ate it right there. Oh, I missed those moments. Even when, just like, it was pretty kind of depressing at the same time, whenever it was from Rena's perspective. Because even though she would like act like that around everyone else, she was kind of like a bit kind of just like internally. I wonder if it was entirely because of Rena, because maybe like in the other arcs where she doesn't appear and like start dating her father, It's just like maybe her outlook on life is different in those cases. I can imagine that being the case. Like, maybe that's what influenced her to be kind of like a lot more melancholic.
No, that's not what happened. Michan tried to make me eat the omelet before, because she put a drug in it.
Maybe the previous line then was Keiichi's then. Rena, stop interpreting everything so conveniently. Mion just put the 5 pieces of the omelet on the lid of her lunchbox.
No, she didn't. She gave out each piece to every one of us.
Rena, think about it. Have we ever done something like that before? We usually take whatever you like from everybody else's lunch. Nobody has ever said something like, this is your piece, so take this, or this is her piece, so don't take that, you know? She looked at me with an accusation in her eyes. To Rena, everything that comes out of my mouth must sound like a lie. Usara! To her, it's a fact that she was poisoned. She knows for sure that the drug was in the omelet. That's why she's contradicting me, because I'm saying something different. I didn't come here to make her mad. I realized that disagreeing would only escalate her anger, so I decided not to. Anyway, you said this place isn't safe anymore. Where are you gonna go then? Didn't she specifically say, Keiichi, that she's not gonna tell you?
Well, I'll find somewhere.
It's not that easy to find a place to sleep. Why don't you come to my house?
I appreciate your offer, but I can't do that. Sounds like your family's looking for me everywhere in the village. I don't think you'd betray me, but I don't think you can hide me from them either.
It's not the Sonozaki family who are looking for you. It's the police.
Why? Oishi stands on my side, and I told him to leave me alone. I don't think he's looking for me.
I think they know that you killed Rina and Teppei. Oh, well done, Keiichi. Well freaking done. Now you're just gonna add further to the misunderstanding by telling her that that's been misunderstood by you.
Oh, I see.
I was relieved that we were finally on the same page, but I realized I was wrong right away when she left in self-derision.
Do you know how the police found out that I killed them?
No, I have no idea. You have no idea in general, Keiichi. They're not after Rena for that. Nobody saw her killing them. Nobody saw us burying the corpses. We buried them deep in the mountains, and we camouflaged the spot perfectly. It's one of those scenarios, really. It's like, for us, we've seen like it from multiple perspectives, but from a single character's perspective, they don't have all the information, so of course, this whole arc has been just filled with misunderstanding after misunderstanding, with delusions thrown in, and more delusions, and paranoia, and all kinds of shit. Nobody saw us then, because we buried them deep in the mountains and we camouflaged them out perfectly. Plus, Mion moved them to a secret place afterwards. So it's impossible that the corpses will be found. Well, don't tell her about that bit. I mean, it kinda add up, but, you know, she'd interpret it as, I knew it! I knew it! I knew they were behind this. Conspiracies!
I went there this evening. I went there to check the spot where we buried them. Guess what I found?
Ah, that didn't sound good. Of course. Rena has no idea that Mion took care of the corpses. And you know, considering her suspicions of Mion and the Sonozaki family, would it be even wise for him to point out that that is actually something that she did? Because she wouldn't interpret it as, oh yeah, she's like doing that out of the goodwill of her heart to protect Rena and all that. By, you know, because like the forestry service was going to do some logging stuff in that area, so they had to hide it elsewhere, otherwise it would have been discovered. She'd think the corpses were still buried there.
They weren't there. The corpses. Somebody dug them out and carried them somewhere else.
Rena, it's because,
It's impossible that someone happened to dig them up. I chose the place. So the only people who know about the place are me and my friends who were there.
That's right. Well, the thing is...
I know who did it. It's me-chan. They didn't want me to work with the police. They need to have some insurance. But I didn't think they'd use the police to find me. Guess they don't care how it looks anymore as long as I'm captured.
Come on, do you really think Mion would do such a thing? Oh shit.
She did! Me-chan sold me out!
No, she didn't. Mion is your friend. We're all on your side no matter what happens. Even if the whole world turned against you, we'd still be on your side. Even if the whole ocean evaporated, Mion would never sell you out.
I don't understand why you're defending her.
It's just the opposite. I don't understand why you're doubting her. It's like going back to Onikakushi again, which is, again, question arc to this answer arc. It's kind of like, essentially, Rena's kind of in Keiichi's shoes in a way. Like, Keiichi had a similar kind of thing there. And, like, now it's Rena that's experiencing that kind of thing. And the story's not exactly identical either. It's just, like, similar. It has similarities. And then you throw in a bit of, like, the other arcs, like Watanagashi Merakashi and Tatari Goroshi. And heck, technically, you even got a bit of a Matsubushi in there as well, maybe. You know, with Rika a little bit, you know, kind of bit of that, maybe, sort of thing, you know? So it's like it's got a bit of everything this arc has.
That's simple. Miya-san revealed this existence of the conspiracy to me, and the fanatics are...
Shut up! Shut up! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you like that. I apologize, so please listen to me. The corpses are gone because Mion dug them out. You know, before we move on to Rena's I knew it, which she's inevitably gonna be like, I want to see how that is in Japanese. No idea. Then why did I even bother? He's just like, I was just curious if it's gonna be in hiragana or not, but it was kanji. Oh shit.
See, I told you!
Listen to me until I finish. Okay. Mion dug them out because she found out that the place isn't going to be safe for much longer. There's a logging project scheduled to begin on the mountain this summer. That was why. That's why she dug them out, to save you from being caught. Rena laughed at me like I was stupid or something. I could tell she didn't understand anything I was saying. Don't you get it? Oh wait, no, that's her now.
Don't you get it? Mi-chan made that up. She just wants to look good when you're around. She's a dirty bitch.
Whoa, those some harsh words for your friend there. I mean, Mion actually did have good intentions. That feels harsh, knowing that, doesn't it? It's it's like, it's definitely not saying bitch, probably, obviously. Oh, where's Mion's name? That's right there, isn't it? I recognize the kanji character. Mi-chan. Oh wait, this is Keiichi's name, I think. Keiichi-kun. This is the kanji character for 1, which is, in this case, Ichi. So that's Keiichi. Keiichi. I don't know what this kanji character is, but that one is the kanji character for 1. So we got another character that has kanji character in the name that is literally a number. How about that? Hey! And what was she supposed to do? You seem that she should have left the corpses there knowing that the forestry service would find them this summer. She couldn't do that because she's your friend.
Why can't you understand that Mi-chan made everything up, including the logging project?
You're the one who doesn't understand anything. After I yelled at her, she gave me an icy look. She stared into my eyes, as if trying to find out what I came here for. I came here to wake you up. You're possessed by an impossible delusion because of darkness and scrapbooks. First I thought it was interesting. This is getting way out of hand. You know why? It's because they're making you sick.
Oh, the girl who looked just like Rika-chan told me the same thing. You're actually right about that. I mean, I do have the magnet disease, so...
No, you don't understand. Listen to me very carefully. You need to lie down and rest for a while, okay? It'd be a lot safer to stay at Mion's house. She can protect you from the police. If you don't trust her, you can stay at my place. However, it's not good for you to stay somewhere uncomfortable like this. Just go to my house for now. We'll have some cold tea together. It'll, cool your fever down. Then you'll realize how crazy all this was.
What are you talking about, Keiichi-kun? Are you saying that I'm crazy? I'm not crazy, you are! You don't know it, but you're just being controlled by the parasite. Keiichi-kun, you think you have nothing to do with it, but you're one of the victims. You just don't realize it. I'm not blaming you for that. I can save you, I can save everybody, so please trust me for now.
You know, that's the thing. It's like, when someone goes completely batshit crazy, they think everyone else is the crazy one and not themselves. Now ain't that a freaking bitch, isn't it? You think we're all crazy. You think everybody in this village is crazy and you're not? Is that what you're saying?
It might even be spread outside of Mizawa. It might have already spread it as far as Shishibone City, or to the entire prefecture. I really am the only one who isn't crazy. I know that thanks to Miya-san's scrapbooks. I thought you understood that too.
Now you've gone full on, what was his name? Kenji from Karawa Shoujo. It's like, I'm the last sane man in an insane world. Well, Rena's the, last sane girl in an insane world. Wait a second, Rena. You're saying everybody in the world is crazy except you. That's the same thing as saying you're the only one who's crazy. The world hasn't changed. Nobody is crazy. Nobody is your enemy. If you ask me, it's crazy to believe that you're the only one in the world who isn't crazy, and that everybody in this world is your enemy. In short, your only enemy is yourself.
I feel sorry for you, Keiichi-kun, but it's okay. It's not that easy to accept the facts Miya-san discovered. Even she wasn't sure about them. So understand if you can't accept the truth. That's why I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight to save everybody. I'll beat them down and make them stop controlling you.
Rena, that's stupid. That's just idiotic. You feel sorry for me. You're stupid. Why don't you understand? Why do you still believe a crazy, stupid story like this? Again, looking at Japanese. Just baka, you know, you got always there. Then you got whatever this is. What else did he say? It's repeating itself there as well. What was he saying? That's just idiotic. There's actual kanji characters. There's another way of saying that, maybe? You're just interpreting everything to suit your convenience.
They have replacements for Miya-san, Rika-chan, and me. They're going to replace me after I'm killed.
What? Replacements? You seriously saying that?
You know what? I'm going to tell you the truth. I haven't told you about this yet. The true identity of the parasite is aliens.
You're serious? Aliens?
Yes, Oyashiro-Sama is also an alien. The description of his descending from the sky matches with alien theories from all over the world. Whenever a great civilization flourished, it was always the aliens who accomplished it. They have advanced knowledge. They came to Earth to help immature humans evolve.
You've been watching too much Ancient Aliens, Rena. Except that show didn't exist back then. Hey, wait just a minute. You must be kidding, right, Rena? The parasite theory was interesting, but aliens? Come on, that's just nonsense. You know what would be really shocking is if it really was, isn't it? Just like you have this vast conspiracy and it's aliens so nobody takes it seriously, and then it turns out to be true. It's like, well, fuck, that was the most absurd theory ever, and it was true? What the fuck? Just like, oh, the lizard people. Wait, that was real? Fuck me, man. It's just like, what do you think about it? If something like that was actually a thing, they probably wouldn't even need to really hide it all that well, would they? Just be like, no, who the fuck's gonna believe that shit? Just like somebody just like uncover it, just like, oh my god, I've uncovered the truth, I must tell the world. It's like, dude, you're fucking crazy. But Rena believes this theory so seriously, and she feels sorry for me because I can't accept it. You can't accept the truth that there are aliens controlling things.
They've been controlling the community by living as parasites in human bodies. But sometimes someone with sharp intuition comes along, tries to reveal the truth. They get rid of them in order to maintain their control of the community. They sometimes kidnap these people with sharp intuition and put a piece of metal in their bodies to gain control over them. When that doesn't work, they replace those people with their copies.
Wait. They control the community by living as parasites. She's like, okay. Then it's like, sometimes the sharp intuition comes along and they try to realize it, but they get rid of them in order to the end of that. They sometimes kidnap those people with sharp intuition and blah, 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 blah. Well, I suppose the whole thing is parasite controlling and all that. Just like with this kind of context, is it like the case, like just like, oh, an asteroid hits and or a comet, whatever, it hit and it had these alien parasites and they infected the local population. I mean, even that's a bit out there, but it's just trying to make sense of how this theory could make any sense whatsoever.
They made a copy of Mia-san. They made a copy of me too. Rika-chan's copy just came by a few minutes ago. I talked to it. It admitted that it came from space. It told me that the end of the world is coming soon. It laughed at me, saying I should struggle as much as I want. I'm going to fight. I'm not going to let them domesticate our species. I'll never ever.
You know, I don't think Rika said anything about coming from space. You're so stupid! I stepped towards Rena and slapped her in the face. Ah, look at that face. I was hoping it would return her to sanity. Wake up! Rena, did you forget? It happened here, just a few days ago. We all took each other's hand here, didn't we? We promised we'd be a family made of friends forever. Oh, she's got the cold face now. Rena played with her wrist. She didn't interrupt, so I continued. If you're seriously saying that aliens are controlling the Earth, we've got to have this soundtrack play like it was back then for extra feels and impacts. I believe you, even if everybody in this world didn't. I would. It's because I'm your friend and I'm on your side no matter what. But I want you to listen to me too. I want you to listen to me because I'm your friend. Dagna-san made up all the stories in the scrapbooks. It's true. Dagna-san was an occult maniac. She enjoyed interpreting old history of Hinamizawa any way she wanted. She made up ridiculous stories out of it, and she read them to people for fun. So the parasite story isn't the only one she made up. There are stories about UFOs, some kind of creature from the underworld, and many other things. So the one you read in the scrapbooks is just a new story she made up recently. Don't you remember that she liked to make fun of people? She was just making fun of you because you took her story so seriously.
It was really just a story she made up. Why was she killed? Autopsy report said she had been dead for 24 hours when she was found. But she was there at the festival. Why? How are you going to explain the cause of Tomoaki-san's death? What about the Sonozaki family? What about the legend of Hinamizawa? What about Oyashiro-Sama and Rika-chan? Are you saying everything's made up? Are you saying that the whole world is lying to us?
Stop making connections between everything. It's a typical symptom of paranoia. Don't think so hard. You're just tired. That's why you need to rest. What I'm going to do is to offer you a place to relax, a bed and food. If you can't trust my food, you don't have to eat it. Eat whatever you have. Anyway, please just trust me for now.
My story makes more sense than yours. I have evidence to prove it. But all you're saying is that I should trust you. Isn't it obvious who is right?
Yes, it is obvious. Me! I'm right.
How? How can you be so sure?
It's easy. It's because I'm your friend. Friends never betray one another. That's bullshit, but I guess you could see that as fake friends in that kind of situation, but whatever. Friends always help each other. So you have to believe that I'm right even when the world says I'm wrong. Because I'm your friend. But to put it on the other foot there, Keiichi, you have to believe her because she's your friend, so everybody else is wrong. It's like, what logic is that? You have to believe that I'm right even when the world says I'm wrong because I'm your friend. Well, he did also say that he'd believe her if she said that aliens were behind this whole thing. But the thing is, he's trying to bring her paranoia down, so he knows it's absurd, but he's not believing that it's bad. It's a bit of a contradiction, really, on that case. I heard a thud. Rena dropped the hatchet. She staggered, holding her head in her hands. She was muttering something, and it looked like she was asking herself questions. Oh, the sun switched to her perspective. Nice. He wants me to trust him, but he has no evidence to prove he's right. He's being absurd. Oh, maybe he's right and I'm wrong. Am I really just misunderstanding everything? Has this whole arc been nothing but misunderstandings? It would be wonderful if that was true. I wished I was wrong so many times. I wish Mion-san's scrapbooks are nothing but a bunch of stories. The parasite doesn't exist. Some coincidences happen to connect it together. I interpreted them in the wrong way. I really wish that was the case. Don't give up, Renariga. Be cool, Renariga! This guy has poison in his words. He's trying to take advantage of my weakness. Everything is too obvious not to believe. It's obvious that the aliens have been trying to invade the Earth, using this village as their base ever since it was called Onikafuchi. You know, I suppose that's another thing, like, in fiction. Just like, or just theories in general, and in real life as well. Just like, it's so easy to just say, oh, what's the explanation behind this? Aliens. It's like a kind of cop-out kind of thing, isn't it? It's like, oh, we couldn't think of a reasonable answer to this question here, to why this is, so therefore aliens. It's like, oh, our ancestors were able to create these fantastic things. Aliens. Totally not. Simply underestimating our ancestors' abilities. Keiichi-kun is a victim who's being controlled by them. He's just a victim. But when he grabbed my wrist really hard, not wrist, really hard on that day, I could tell his intentions were true. I still remember the strength of his grip on my wrist. He tried to save me, his friend. I got lost in this crazy delusional maze many times. I prayed over and over that somebody would help me. And now my prayers are answered, and Keiichi-kun is reaching for my hand again. But don't forget, Renariga. This guy says he's your friend, but he hasn't told you everything about himself. Don't you remember? Yoshi-san told you about it. He told me about what he found out. I couldn't trust my friends, so we should check on everybody, including Keiichi-kun. Oh, we gotta get some backstory on Keiichi now, are we? That's why I know about what he did before he moved here. Oh, whoa, what did Keiichi do? What did he do? He looks like he's a good guy on the outside, but he's crazy on the inside. I can't trust him. I shouldn't trust him. Wow, that's certainly... would that be a 180? It's like it went from crazy to yes, it's all emotional. He might be right, and then suddenly, no. We should do a background check on him. He's fucking crazy. But why? What did she find out from Oishi? Can you tell where this is going? Probably from the video being near the end, but this is a cliffhanger! Why is Keiichi crazy, or what made him crazy? What information did Rena learn about him? Find out next time. So I'll see you next time, viewers. See you next time.